The Jetsons Meet the Flintstones is definitely a really interesting film. It does feel like the best of the best when it comes to Hanna-Barbera. There are a lot of great things about this. That being said, for me, watching it as a Flintstones fan, I didn't enjoy it as much as I wanted to. But it's not really a criticism, I don't think, unless a lot of people feel the same way. But I think it's absolutely fine, but based on what I was hoping for, it didn't quite deliver. This was released in 1987. It's directed by Don Lusk, written by Don Nelson and Arthur Alsberg, with a voice cast including Henry Corden, George O'Hanlon, Mel Blanc, Gene Vanderpyle, and various others. We have Janet Waldo, Daws, Butler, Don M.A.C.C. I could go on. Frank Welker, I will go on. Amazing, amazing voice cast, and of course that comes across in the quality of the voice acting. The animation is stunning. It is so beautiful to look at. The style of the characters, very recognizable as the Hanna-Barbera characters. The color palette, amazing. The editing is fantastic. And then we come to the story. And I don't think there's anything wrong with the story, but for me, the balance wasn't quite right. And again, as I said, I don't think this is a criticism, because it still works really well. But if many people feel the same way, then maybe we could argue that they could have done it a little differently. As the title suggests, the Jetsons are meeting the Flintstones. And this happens because of the manipulation of some time and some time travel. And what's really interesting, and what I was looking forward to most, is that, of course, we have the Flintstones of Bedrock, where they're living in the Stone Age, and we have the Jetsons, who on the complete opposite side are living a much more futuristic space age lifestyle. So I was really looking forward to that contrast, and especially seeing how the Flintstones would respond to the Jetsons as characters and their way of doing things. But that part of it I felt wasn't as interesting as it could have been. And I feel like it just didn't really deliver for the Flintstones. And that's where I'm saying I'm not really sure if it's a criticism or if it's really personal preference, because I was watching it as a Flintstones fan. I did watch the Jetsons growing up, but I was never a big fan. So the Flintstones was my pull factor here, and we do get some fun interactions, but the overarching narrative itself, I wasn't really that interested in. I didn't find it that fascinating, and that's because I feel it was more focused on the Jetsons. Now, if you're a big Jetsons fan, that's fantastic, and if that's the way they wanted to tell the story, so be it. But for me personally, I didn't quite get out of it what I was hoping for. I was never bored. There were enough elements there for me to really thoroughly enjoy it still. As I said, the animation is gorgeous, the characters are a delight, the voice acting is brilliant, and we still do get a decent amount of the Flintstones. I just feel like, for me personally, it wasn't evenly weighted, and I'd love to know if anybody else feels the same way, or if it's just me, if I was maybe hoping for too much from those characters. I don't know, but certainly everything that was presented worked well. Everything within the context of the narrative flowed well, the pacing was really good, so there's nothing really wrong with the story. I just personally didn't get out of it what I was hoping for. But that being said, if you're a Hanna-Barbera fan, whether you like the Flintstones or the Jetsons, it's definitely worth watching. I don't think I'd watch it again, whereas I might have done had I enjoyed the role of the Flintstones in this a little bit more. But nevertheless, as a one-time watch, I still had fun with it. It was still a decent experience. I think if you're a Jetsons fan, you might enjoy it a bit more, but then again, I don't know. I'd love to know what you think of it if you are a big Jetsons fan. Did it deliver? Do you feel like it was more aimed at fans of the Jetsons? Whereas for me, I was looking forward to more of the Flintstones. What we got of the Flintstones, those characters, it was good. What we got was good, but for me, it could have been better. But as I said, gorgeous animation, beautiful editing, great voice acting, stunning color palette. It's a lot of fun, but for me, I think it could have just been a little bit better.